Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for today's coffee break. I really hope everybody learns a lot and has some great stuff to take home to utilize in their regular daily lives. I'm going to go ahead and get started here with some housekeeping tips for those that haven't joined us before. If you have any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat or the Q&A window at any time. We'll have time at the end, but I'll monitor it. So if there's anything relevant, I can try to address it. We are recording. Links to view the video and PDF of the presentation will be shared with you tomorrow morning. If you'd like to view our archive anytime, visit us at tristaterestores.com/VCB. We have all of our past videos up there along with the presentations. We're bringing the Starbucks gift cards back today. 10 lucky attendees will get a $5 Starbucks card. Stay to the end. After the coffee break, please complete the post-event survey. Share the topics you'd like us to cover in the next coffee break. The next one is scheduled for July 26th. And if you like this presentation, which we sincerely hope you do, please consider sharing a review of Tri-State on Google or Facebook. Just search for Tri-State Restorations. And just so you know, this is subject to Google review. So as soon as that does get posted publicly, we'll be able to share your gift with you. And stay to the end, one lucky attendee will win a $50 Crumbl cookie prize pack. So takeaways from today's presentation will support property owners, residents, and community managers in effectively celebrating Community Safety Month. It's June, it's Community Safety Month. So here we are. We're known for deterring disaster and a peace of mind. We are a DMV area large loss specialist. We specialize in the mitigation, remediation, removal, cleanup, and restoration efforts of both large and small fire, water, mold, biohazard, lead, and odor-caused damages. Our company's mission is turning disaster into peace of mind because we're committed to easing the burden of handling your property disaster by providing you with the best customer experience and services possible. We're a 5-star rated across the board. This is just a little testimonial here and some photos from a recent project that we worked on in Baltimore City. And then here's our service overview again: water mitigation restoration, mold and lead, fire and smoke restoration and odor control, biohazard trauma cleaning and disinfection, sewage mitigation, disinfection and cleanup. And then we also perform reconstruction efforts for those in the Maryland area. We're licensed, insured, and reliable. We're an IICRC certified firm, EPA lead safe certified, IAQA smart mold firm, and all of our employees are infectious disease and bloodborne pathogen certified. We also have an EPA licensed asbestos inspector on staff. And then these are all the different organizations we belong to. We also belong to a couple of community management associations, AOBA, Community Associations Institute, and the Property Management Association. All right, now we're going to get into it. So June is Community Safety Month. There's a little bit of background. National Safety Month is celebrated in June when people focus on how they can keep their environment safe and free from danger. Started by the National Safety Council in 1996, National Safety Month aims to spread awareness of common safety hazards, prevent injuries, and promote overall safety and well-being within your workplace, home, and community. But first, what is a community? So a community can be defined by your place of residence, workplace, or type of occupation. Today, we'll be focusing on where you live and how to promote a safe culture and environment within that community. Community safety is about feeling safe, whether you're at home, in the street, or at work. It relates to quality of life and the pursuit of domestic and social benefits. So here's just a brief overview of what we're going to review today. We're going to talk about performing a community safety inspection. We're going to go through, our typical recommendations for an annual and a biannual property inspection. This is relevant for both large and small communities or personal property. We're going to talk about hosting a safe community day event, pet safety, and then we're going to go through emergency preparedness and a little bit of hurricane prep, since June 1st was the start of the hurricane season. So community safety inspection and prep. Community managers and association board members, safety in your community starts with you. Ensure any public roadways and or parking lots are clearly labeled, clear of debris, and accessible. A pro tip is to enact a see something, say something policy for residents to assist you in reporting these hazards in public spaces. Ensure community signage is posted, legible and easily recognizable. A pro tip here is periodically remind your residents of your community's name and branding to ease any confusion and stay consistent. I can't tell you how many times I've chatted with a client and they knew their street address, but they didn't quite know what their community's name was. This can be extremely important for first responders, EMS, firefighters. If they know the community name, they can get there much more quickly. Check playground pathway and common area lighting to ensure visibility and safety of residents. Test fire alarms and emergency shut-off valves. Right here on the picture, we offer safety inspections for a lot of the properties that we work with, and we'll go in and we'll tag their water shut-off valve so it's clearly labeled, and then they've got our number in case of an emergency. Check to be sure each building has clearly labeled fire escape routes and procedures. A pro tip here is to host a biannual household or community fire drill. Even if you're signed on here and you're thinking about your personal property and your family and their safety, host a biannual fire drill with your family, with your kids, with your loved ones, anyone who resides in your property. This is extremely important because when a disaster does happen, the last thing you want to be concerned with is, okay, where's our meeting spot? Where are my family members? So that really does help. And it helps remind children, especially, to get out of the house. If they see something, you can alert them to the different signs of any disasters. They know where to go and where to stay safe. For the water shutoff valve inspections and tagging, do you review all water shutoff or just the main? So it kind of depends on the community. We will go as far down that avenue as you like, or as withdrawn as you like. We'll walk all the different community buildings and tag all the water shutoffs. I know that some water shutoff valves in multi-family residential are within the units themselves. We don't want to impose on any unit owners at that point. So we would kind of just defer to the community manager to let us know what the expectations are. Preventative maintenance and active versus active mitigation. So it's always easier to maintain your property than it is to actively seek assistance during an emergency. So what we do is we have an entire prep list that we go through, and that's part of these biannual inspection checklists. And you can invite your go-to contractors like TSR for a pre-loss site walkthrough to provide all parties with an understanding of your property's unique characteristics. This speeds up the mitigation process during a true emergency by eliminating the necessary pre-mitigation information gathering stage. So determining location, building materials, etc. Our pro tip is that we utilize a Matterport 3D technology camera to perform property scans prior to any reported loss. This is also extremely helpful when it comes to filing a claim with your insurance carrier, because you do have a very accurate depiction of what the pre-loss state was before the damages happened. Continuing on with the biannual property inspection checklist, inspect your boiler and hot water heaters, especially those 10 years old and older. Our referring plumbers say the hot water heaters no longer have that 30-year lifespan that they used to, and an aging water heater is like a ticking time bomb. Look for rusting around the bottom, loose pipes, and water spots for red flags. Look for grading issues along the property perimeter as well. Next time it rains, step outside and inspect the flow of rainwater. You want this water to travel away from your property and towards a centralized drain or rainwater collection area. If you see pooling or puddles, especially around the foundation area, this is a big red flag. And you'll want to reach out to a professional to assist you with some grading upgrades and possibly a waterproofing company to make sure that none of that water is currently intruding into your property. Inspect your HVAC units and change the air filters every 3 months. We recommend going with the best HEPA filter that you can get. It definitely helps take out all of the particulates from the air, and it prevents a lot of allergenic reactions that people have, especially this time of year. When you're inspecting your HVAC units, look for signs of exterior moisture, leaks, rust, and mold. If you smell a musty odor around the unit, this is a red flag. Inspect refrigerator and dishwasher water lines. Look for signs of degradation and pinhole leaks. Well, our pro tip for this one is to set a calendar reminder for your appliance checkups. Keep all warranty and manufacturer information in a centralized and easy to access location just in case of an emergency. There's a lot that you could save at the end of the day by not having to buy new appliances. If you are under warranty, or if the company, it does know of a faulty, line to your unit, they may replace that free of charge. Inspect sprinkler systems and fire alarms to ensure they are operable and ready for use. The pro tip here is to check your landscaping sprinkler systems too. They often get forgotten, and you're going to want to look for dripping water or dampness around the water line connections that connects that to the property's main line. Water heaters on upper floors is their way to ensure its emergency drain works as a drain required. So that would be up to your state and local requirements for plumbing. I would defer to check with a local licensed plumber to ask those questions. But water heaters on upper floors, typically we'll see that there's a pan, whether it's a built-in pan into your flooring, or it's like one of those plastic drain pans that you get around like your clothes washer. We often see that as kind of an emergency procedure, so that if it does leak, at least a lot of it is contained. How do you recommend to look for pinhole leaks? Well, honestly, the best way to look for pinhole leaks is to check it regularly. If the line looks degraded in any way, you're going to want to try to be mindful of that and check on a daily basis. Look around the surrounding area for any kind of water spots or dampness. Use your nose. That's often one of the best tools. If you smell any kind of musty odor, or like fresh rainwater smell or anything like that, chances are there is a leak, and you're going to want to have a professional come out and help you out with that. Hosting a Safe Community Day event in June. So we now know that Community Safety Month is June. Safe community events will show your residents how they can prevent crime in their neighborhoods, find out what services are available to keep their community safe, and provide an opportunity to meet and get to know their neighbors so that they can work together to reinforce what's presented during the event. So have any of you ever hosted a safe community event, and what were some of the fun activities you guys decided to bring out for your residents? Anybody want to answer through the chat? I'm gonna let you all answer, and I'm gonna move on to the next slide because we've got some ideas for you. Oh yes, okay. Tech Meet and Connect event, nice. So some of the ideas we came up with, and we've done this with some of the communities we work with, entice community participation by hosting a special add-on event geared towards safety. You can call out your local police department, EMS, fire department, do children and adult fingerprinting. You can have the fire department help you host a community fire drill. You can also do vehicle tours for kids. Those are always a big hit. Invite on-site maintenance and facility staff to meet with your residents, to develop relationships with them, so that if an emergency does happen and they are called on, they already have an established relationship, they know where they're going, and they have a familiar person, and it's not a scary thing. Fun activities for residents and their children. Bring out a food or an ice cream truck, host a little mini concert. Maybe there's, a teenager's garage band in your neighborhood, and they need a place to play. Do a kids puppet show or animal show, cornhole, pony rides, so much more. Lots of fun things that you can do to just get everybody out of their homes, meeting each other and feeling part of the community. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Michelle. Community events in the past have included charity donations, shredder truck. That's a great one. Tables for management and local police, etc., to meet residents. I like the shredder truck idea. I'm definitely going to add that to my list. Thanks, Michelle. So here's a couple of the things that we've done. We've hosted a couple of watershed cleanup events this summer so far. That's my son giving a thumbs up. We were in Urbana Highlands, and we also did one in Sligo Creek. And this just really brought all the community together. We were able to beautify their neighborhood together as a collective. It really brings a lot of pride to people to be able to do that for the place that they live. And the trick is, after the fact, everybody's still going to continue cleaning because they had so much fun doing it, and they got a lot out of it, and then they were able to go home and feel really happy that they beautified their community. And here's another one. I just threw this in here because we just did this last month. This is Stephen Knowles School in Wheaton, Maryland. It's a special needs school, and the Property Management Association collectively brings in a bunch of partners, and we all volunteer our day to help beautify the school. So being a special needs school, they don't have a lot of money through the county for beautifying their landscaping. Most of that money is spent actually on devices and tools and things to actually help the students in their day-to-day lives. So what we do is we come out and we spend the day cleaning, planting, gardening, painting, and just making their home, their community, which is their school, a better place for them to go to every day. Host a regular safety meeting with site staff and maintenance workers. So this is actually important regardless of any type of work that you perform. There are a lot of digital tools available at your disposal through OSHA, NIOSH. They have weekly toolbox talks and safety meetings. These are great general reminders. I think one of the OSHA reminders for today was for heat protection and heat prevention, making sure that everybody's staying hydrated. That's very important as the days are getting a little bit longer and hotter. We want to make sure that nobody's passing out from heat exhaustion or having any kind of complications. You also want to make sure we're reminding people about ladder safety. Even in your own homes, when you're changing a light bulb, make sure your ladder's firmly planted on the ground and that there's no chance for a fall. A lot of injuries and head trauma are caused by falling off of ladders or stairs or other things like that. So great friendly reminders. I recommend this to everyone to just sign up. They do a nice daily alert. Pet safety. So pets are also wonderful members of our family. This is Inspector Levi, ready for duty. He is one of our owner's puppies. He's so cute. We did a little photo shoot with him. We turned him into a tri-state employee for the day, but he still refused to wear the polo. So you have Mr. Levi here with his suitcase. And my recommendation to everybody is, again, make sure walking paths are clear of debris. And if possible, provide pickup bags for your residents. Our four-legged friends are unfortunately often the last priority for responding emergency services personnel during emergency. So we also, as a pro tip, recommend maybe even handing out these emergency pet clings. These can go on a window or a door. This is a great giveaway if you do host a community safety event. And that way, everyone, even your furry-legged friends, are taken into account when emergency service personnel show up to help you with an emergency. Fall protection, we already touched on this a little bit, but ensuring walkways, stairwells, and entrances are properly maintained will help prevent falls. Falls are the #1 OSHA-related work incident, and it's the #1 attributed cause of severe injury and death for 65 and older community members. Most injuries in the elderly are the result of falls. Head trauma, fractures of the hip, forearm, humerus, and pelvis usually result from the combined effect of falls and osteoporosis. So again, very big deal, great friendly reminder, want to keep everybody safe. For anybody on here that is part of a community, an aging community with residents over 65, this is a great friendly reminder. Provide an EMS alert or provide a text messaging system or some kind of an alert station like this one here on a college campus. Residents are often on the go, and because your community has a lot of outdoor recreational activities, our pro tip here is to provide accessible ways of contacting emergency personnel, whether that's installing alert buttons within the individual resident units or providing help centers throughout the property. This extra step can help prevent unknown disasters. All right, so we're gonna get into the fun part here. Hurricane season started on June 1, but the bulk of the rainstorms and hurricane-related weather typically hits the DMV the hardest during August and November. So what is a hurricane? Hurricane is a type of storm called a tropical cyclone, which forms over tropical and subtropical waters. What makes a hurricane? Thunderstorms, warm ocean water, and light winds are the conditions needed for a hurricane to form. Here's a fun little video. And I imagine with the lack of rain that we've had this spring, we're probably due for some very big storms this summer. So I want to make sure everybody's able to prep and stay safe. Most importantly, know your zone. Every state has a different version of this. I'm sharing Maryland because I'm in Maryland. They put together a website where you can look up your local area to see if it's a high risk zone or not. Check it out. Make sure that you know where your local centers are for emergency support, just in case the event happens. Make a plan. Plan a disaster plan and make sure everyone in your household knows and understands it. Ensure your community or business has a continuity plan to continue operating when disaster strikes. Some pertinent questions would be, how will I receive emergency alerts and warnings? What is my shelter plan? Where is my evacuation route? What is my family household communication plan? And do I need to update my emergency preparedness kit? And if you don't have one, stay tuned. We're going to go through a slide to show you what should go in it. So secure your property, things to do before a hurricane. Anchor oil tanks, move cars to a garage or higher ground, secure boats, check for sewage system backflow valve, fit well with flood-proof cap, fill bathtubs and jugs to ensure water supply, and store yard items, paint, pesticides, and empty trash, etc. And what to pack in your emergency go bag. Have enough supplies for your household, including medication, disinfectant wipes, and pet supplies, and pack your go bag in your car trunk. You may not have access to these supplies for days or even weeks after a hurricane. Water, important documents, snacks individually packed and sealed, toiletries, prescription medications enough for at least 1 week, first aid kit, extra clothes if possible, a hand crank radio and flashlight. And this one here, this is really cool. I found it on Amazon. It's only $20. It can even help power your phone. There's a little USB plug. So we liked it so much, we added it to a price. So let's see, hurricane preparedness, get an insurance checkup. This is very important. And for any agents or brokers here on the coffee break today, feel free to chime in and help me out. We recommend everyone does an insurance checkup at least once a year. Your carrier may change your policy slightly over the years as a benefit to you to keep costs down. You're going to want to check to make sure that everything checks the box of the programs and services that you want. So check with your agent, read through your policy, consider flood insurance if you find out that you're in a danger zone, and keep all of your documents with you in that go bag in a very secure place so that you have it ready when you need it. You can get some hurricane preparedness tips here at the NOAA.gov website. Other things that we think you should consider with your insurance policy, mainline backup insurance. It's often an add-on to your policy, and typically for less than $100 a year, you can protect yourself from a very costly mitigation and restoration service. If you don't have this backup insurance, what happens if the WSSC main line has any issues and it overflows and backs up into your home? You wouldn't be covered for our services, for the reconstruction efforts, for the plumbing efforts, if you don't have this particular type of insurance. So check your policy, make sure you're covered. For less than $20 a month, you could protect yourself from $25,000 plus in damages. So what to do when the storm hits? How do you weather the storm? Stay indoors during hurricanes and stay away from windows and glass. Never operate a portable generator inside your home. Never connect a generator directly into your home's wiring unless a transfer switch has been installed. I recommend seeing a professional electrician if you would like to go that route. Always use GFCIs in areas where water and electricity may come in contact. So basically everywhere on your ground floor or basement area and anywhere in a wet environment like a kitchen or a bathroom. Response time. Now, if you do get hit by damages from a storm, we recommend that you are acting as quickly as possible. Within the first 24 hours to 48 hours is ideal. This helps you prevent any secondary damages. What typically happens during these summer storms, because it's so warm out and there's so much humidity already in the atmosphere, when you have water damage and it's not dried out properly, you are definitely going to have some microbial growth happening very, very quickly within that first 48-hour window. Not as prominent during the winter months because the cold weather does help us. So it may not seem like much water at first, but waiting to react can have serious consequences. Water migrates fairly quickly, and what at first seemed like a puddle may now have destroyed an entire ceiling's worth of drywall, paint, and fixtures. A quick response to mitigate water damage means that a restoration contractor like Tri-State has a better chance of being able to salvage and dry your property's affected building materials after a water damage incident. So we're talking flooring, baseboards, drywall, ceilings, all of that good stuff. If we're able to respond very quickly, a lot of it can be salvaged and dried out successfully. Due to the nature of the damage or materials, though, some affected items may be deemed unsalvageable prior to drying. In this instance, it's because there's particulates in the water. Maybe it's flood water that's coming in and intruding into your property. There's all kinds of chemicals and particulates and things that cause health hazards. And in those instances, we recommend that most of that gets disposed of rather than trying to salvage it because we don't want anyone to come to harm. How do I recover? After the hurricane, the standing waters pose various risks, including infectious diseases, chemical hazards, and injuries, like I was just mentioning. When floodwater migrates into your home, this is when Tri-State Restorations can help. We're available 24/7 to assist. If you're not in our local area, look for a local reputable contractor that can assist you with these services. Do not use electrical equipment and electronics, including receptacles that have been submerged in water. Have a qualified electrician inspect any water damaged electrical equipment and electronics. Stay away from downed power lines. If you encounter a downed power line, stay at least 35 feet away and do not touch the line or anything that may be in contact with the line. And again, call your local government for support and have them come out to assess the damages. In closing, following proper mitigation standards after a natural disaster, plumbing leak, fire, flood, or trauma loss is reported, it's crucial to save time, money, and unnecessary secondary property damages and structural loss. If you suspect you have any of these property damages or hazards, give us a call on our emergency services line. We're available 24/7 to help you with your disaster at 866-818-1949. And now I'm going to get into some questions here in case anybody has any questions. Fatin, check for assistance centers in your area. Oh, this is a great tip. Thank you. Check for assistance centers in your local area in time of need. If you have babies, if you have babies, have them on their name, address, and medical challenges, if there is any, just in case parents can't be reached or able to talk. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. So let's say you're a daycare worker. Make sure you have all of the relevant information that you need to be able to find, whoever the guardian is or a next of kin. Just documentation. Keep all important relevant documents in a very safe space that's going to stay dry. And make sure you have your go bag prepared, again, with at least a week's worth of supplies. And it's going to keep you through the hardest part until you're able to start using regular services again. Awesome. Thanks, Katrina. Appreciate that. So if anybody has any other questions, I'm going to keep moving on because I know a lot of people here really want to get to the grand prize part. But I will definitely take a look and keep watching and address anything that pops up. So without further ado, we're doing a crumble prize pack today. And we're going to take a random person in the call here. Let's see who is our crumble prize pack winner. Sorry, I'm scrolling down to number 35 here. All right. Michael Murphy. Congratulations. You are the crumble prize pack winner. Good job being the perfect number on my random number generator. The cookies are amazing. If you haven't had them yet, you're going to absolutely love them. Oh, Kelly, I see you there. We're going to have to get together and have some crumble at some point. And now that I've been able to bring it back, we have some second prize drawings. We're going to give away 10 $5 Starbucks gift cards for everybody. Thank you for your time. Now there is a catch. Chat me one thing you learned in this presentation to win. The first 10 responses will get a digital gift card. So let me see you guys send in something in the chat. What did we learn today? Conducting a biannual drill. Awesome. Good job, Kelly. Katrina says the importance of drying out correctly in humid weather. Perfect. Inspection tips to share with my managers. Awesome. Use of meetings are great for information and dissemination in community buildings. Perfect, Paul. June 1st is Community Safety Month. Great job, James. Packing a go bag. Good job, Crystal. Safety flooding during floods. All right, let's see. Let me see. I think I've hit 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, guys. Brendan, you were the last one. I got you in there. Let's see. Nicole, I want to address your question. Will the slides be available to share? Yes, definitely. I'm going to make these slides available tomorrow. And if you're in the local DMV area, I would be more than happy to, come by, bring some goodies and do this exact same presentation for your community. My goal is to share the wealth, let everybody know the ways that they can help protect themselves and their properties day to day. And I would be more than happy to do that with you. Feel free to reach out to me offline. Just shoot me an email. You can reply to the Zoom invite. Okay. Inspect for water, organize people location. You guys are amazing. I'm so glad. Are you able to tweak your presentation to focus more on property inspection tips? Definitely, Michelle. And I've talked to Chad in your office. I can tweak any of these presentations to gear it a little bit more towards your property's needs. So just let me know and we'll work on getting something together for you, okay? All right, so just a couple last slides while everybody's dropping off. Help us plan for future coffee breaks. Don't forget to complete the post-event survey. It really does help me come up with ideas of topics to present. And if you like this presentation, let us know. We'd appreciate you sharing a view of Tri-State. And then here's how you can contact us. And again, thank you all so very much for joining me today. I hope all the winners enjoy their prizes. I will reach out to you this afternoon and let you know that you won, and I'll get those gift cards out. And yeah, we'll see you next month, July 26th. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful and safe rest of your summer. Hope to see you next month.